Welcome back to Access Anime. I'm Henshin Ikeda, and today I'm going to be doing a walkthrough and review of Codebreakers Episode 2. Now, if you remember from last episode, we have two main characters, Rie and Sakura. And Rie had his hands on Sakura's head, and his hands were all blue, and it looked like she was about to be burnt alive. But I was wrong. In this next episode that I was watching, she's alive and kicking. There's a reason, but I'll get to that later. Now I'm going to keep my comment and my rating until the end of this review and walkthrough. So let's just dive right into Codebreakers Episode 2. Again, we open the episode up, and it's not where we left off exactly. The main character, one of the main characters, Sakura, is in her bed in her house, doesn't know how she got there, and she has like a light headache. Now we find out later on that she was dropped off at the gate of her house, but we don't know by who. Now, I'm going to assume it's Rie. That's the best assumption. Now, her father, I hope I got his name right. It's Daisuke. I hope I pronounced his name right. And her mom, now, I think everyone's going to agree when you see Sakura's mom. You're going to say WTF. This is like a little schoolgirl about the same age as her. She's in a schoolgirl outfit. I'm like, I just looked at her. I was like, her name's Yuki. And she was in a schoolgirl outfit. Like, that can't be your mom. But again, we do not know the background of either of Sakura's mom and dad, so we're in the dark there. But Daisuke, if that is her father's name, because I heard the name Daisuke, so I'm going to assume that's her father's name, is laid back, very optimistic, and looks like someone from Samurai Champloo. I'll just put that out there, minus the glasses, but he does look like a relaxed samurai, per se. But Sakura opens up and says, I guess she found someone, not found someone in general, but she's trying to fight this evildoer. She wants to go out and punish this evildoer. She just right up and told her dad about that. But she doesn't tell him who, and he's like, no, you shouldn't do revenge. Revenge just isn't your thing, let it be. So her dad's got his head on his shoulders the right way. But that was the end of that little scene. Then we go straight to Sakura's high school. Now, obviously she's got tons of questions to ask Rie, and we don't get to hear all of them, because wouldn't you know it, Aoba, Sakura's best friend, pops in. It's kind of interesting, because Sakura makes this big scene in the classroom. It's like, why did you burn all these people, Rie? Like, it's like a lover's quarrel. All these people have the wrong assumptions about what she's talking about, and everyone's jealous of Rie. It's funny because Ayobi, Sakura's friend, reaches over and was about to have a good discussion with Sakura about some things, and then Rie pops up and he enters the conversation because he notices that Sakura was about to tell Ayoba about what happened, and just jumps into the conversation. And Sakura was like, she puts her hand on Ayobi, pushes her away. And now everyone assumes, oh, it's a lover's triangle. I was like, really? How do you connect the dots there? Lover's triangle. But it is what it is. Now, eventually, we see Ayoba and Sakura outside. Sakura's eating her lunch, and I guess Ayoba, her best friend, was trying to have lunch with her. No luck there. It was like, the more she sees Rie looking at her from a distance, the more she feels like, if I tell Ayoba anything, she may be at risk, so she kind of gives her the cold shoulder. But later on in the classroom, it's weird, but she asks out Rie, and everyone assumes, oh my god, this guy's lucky, a girl just asked him out. But that's not really what happened. She wanted to know more about what happened the other night, and then she turns to her best friend. She's like, I'm sorry for, giving me the cold shoulder. I will explain everything to you later. And that was it. It was like, okay. So that's where we're at with her friendship with her best friend. Now, again, Sakura did ask Rie out, it's not what it looks like. It was like, she just asked him out. They're going to a public location so he can't burn anyone. And it was just weird. I should also mention, before she even got to school, she actually went to the scene where she was at the other night just to make sense out of what happened. But not really much to really look at. No burnt marks on the ground, nothing like that. There is a good catch to why she wasn't burnt, but I'll get to that later on. Now we're taken to a character. It's a new character, and he is a code breaker, by the way. He's exactly like Rie. This kid has red hair. His name is Yuki. Yuki Tenpuyen. I hope I got that right. Tenpuyen. His last name is hard to pronounce, but he's another character called Yuki. But it's like Youki. And he's playing an arcade, with those little claw machines. He's got like tons of these little cats. And by the way, I have a weird assumption by this guy. He has this fixation on cats, and he looks laid back and kind of more happier than normal people. I'll just say that. And it was funny. It's like he walks out of the arcade, and then the owner, I guess, or the cashier walks up to him, and he's like, "Oh, aren't you gonna take these cats, or aren't you gonna take your prize?" He's like, "No, just leave them. I freed all the mutons or mutants. It's like a cat, a mutone or something." I thought it was like funny. And then he asked the clerk, "If you were gonna burn, what color would you want to be?" And I was like, "Why would you ask that?" He literally said, "If you're going to be burnt, what color would you want to be?" He's like, "I like blue." I'm like, who asked that kind of question in an arcade? If you were going to be burnt, what color? Oh, no offense, I only know at least 3 colors. There's the black flame, blue flame, and like the orangish red flame. So but him, he like asked that question. He didn't get like a general response, but now we know he has a thing for blue flames. But anyways, we go back to seeing well, before we go back to Rie and Sakura, it's funny, you see this little character like around the corner looking at Yuki before he leaves the arcade. It's like a person that's in that cat outfit, like a little cute. She looks around, and it is a girl in the costume, but we don't know who. Spots him and like starts running, and out of nowhere, Yuki like jumps on her. He's like, "Oh, it's a cat." I'm like, "Oh my god, a guy with a thing for cats, majorly." But apparently, this was like an agent of whatever company he works with, and gives him the note and says, "Codebreakers 3." So he's a 3rd codebreaker. So we know there's a number of codebreakers now, and it's orders to take out someone. I believe it was a picture of someone, which for the love of me, I don't remember who the character was. And now he has orders. Now, we're taken back to Sakura and Rie. They're in a public location, and she automatically, assumes, he's not going to do anything because it's a crowded area. She starts asking questions. And this Rie, he's a really, really strong person to an extent. When I mean strong, he's like, "I'm here to punish people. I'm here to punish the people that the cops can't punish, the evil, this evil." And then he claims to say, "Well, I'm not human." And it's like, I don't know really what to expect from this guy, but we don't know what agency he works for. I mean, you see Sakura saying, "Well, why don't you just turn yourself in?" She's trying to be like a good person, like, "Come on, just turn yourself in." And then you see Rie laughing hysterically. And he had a funny scene where you see Sakura, she like made her own little scene, and I guess it disturbed this little kid in a carriage, and the kid drops his or her toy, and then you see Rie pick it up, like, "Here you go." So you see a nice soft side on Rie. So again, I don't know what to expect from this character. Then you see apparently Rie talking to Sakura, telling her, "If you tell anyone, and if they tell anyone, I'll burn them alive." So he's actually making a threat. But then she makes her own threat. "I'm going to watch where you're going. I'm going to stalk you to an extent." That's, from what I gather, is what she was saying. So you're pretty much going to like date him from a distance. I was joking about that. But it kind of, from how her high school friends see stuff and perceive stuff, that's what it's going to look to them. So they're going to get close, I guess. But that pretty much ends it for them. But just before that little scene ends, he puts his hand on a building, and he says, "I will definitely take out everyone in this area just to prove my point. I can and I will." And his flame is now like orangish yellow. He puts his hand on the building, and like all the glass explodes. It's kind of interesting. They also had another little scene where he burnt Sakura's purse just to make an example, I guess. That's what I thought. But see, this is the meat and potatoes right here. I'm being honest. She opens up and grabs him while he had blue flames, or I believe he grabbed her. No flames. This is what's interesting. she might be a codebreaker. He calls her a rare specimen because she can cancel out his flames, but she doesn't know that. That's why he can't kill her. So that's kind of interesting. Now, we see a little cutscene where we see the guy from the last episode that was referred to as the Minister. We don't know of what agency. Apparently Rie does work for them, I guess, because they were talking about controlling him and running by him or something like that. I can't really explain it, but it was like small talk of, you know, if Rie gets out of control, we may have to step in more. But we don't know what agency this is. Is Rie part of the government? Is he part of like a faction? You know, we don't really know. But anyways, that generally ends it. So we don't know really what's going to happen in the next episode, other than you see Rie at the end of this episode get a phone call, or I should say his secretary. I call her the secretary because we don't know her real name. She just does a checkup to, I guess, see if Sakura's dead yet, and then he informs, I guess, his secretary that she's a rare specimen and my flames can't get to her. So that's kind of interesting. But at least we know there's another codebreaker in the series now. It's kind of funny in my opinion, but I like the red hair. You don't see a lot of red hair characters. I mean, into Gray Man you see red hair. I don't know too many other series. Bleach, you know, just, it's rare. I like seeing red hair characters. But final thoughts right now. I want to know more about the codebreakers, who they work for. Are there more characters like Sakura out there that can nullify like the flames? And how many other colors are there? 'Cause I want to know. I mean, we've only seen one color of a flame mixed with a second color just from one character. And are there other techniques that are involved? I need to see more techniques. Also, I don't know about you, but I thought it was hilarious to see Sakura's mother, Yuki, or Yuki. I can't pronounce her name because it sounds like the other character, which is a male. But she is just adorable. I mean, for a mother, she looked like a schoolgirl. She's all perky and happy. I don't know, it's just kind of funny. I'd like to see more. Hopefully in the next couple of episodes we can see more of her family. Does she have any siblings? That's just me. There are a lot of other things I'd like to know, like, is there another faction involved that they're trying to fight? Like, if all these codebreakers are on one team, who are they fighting? Are they, like, fighting syndicates, evil empires of whatnot? No, we don't know. I can't help but keep bringing that up. There's too much we don't know. I mean, is Rie really a protagonist in this series? Is he an evil person? Or is he someone that's like 50-50? He's half good, half bad. He's just caught in the middle, and just no one's reached out and touched him yet. Or maybe he's had a bad past. We don't know. But he does have a soft side. We did see it in this episode, even if it was for a minute. But now I'm going to give this an interesting rating. I wanted to give this a 4 out of 5. I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5. I didn't see a lot of fighting. We saw a new character, but it wasn't enough to quench my thirst, so 3.5 out of 5. Now, that ends it for my walkthrough and review of Codebreaker Episode 2. I'll probably do 2 or 3 more reviews tonight or tomorrow morning. We'll see. Probably One Piece, Fairy Tail, and anything else I can find. Well, that ends it for my review and walkthrough. I have to say it. Can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.